I was skinny and like moving a lot, jumping a lot. Like they used to call me Pasikonik. So that was my nickname in Poland. So basketball in Europe is not business. It's luxury. You know, when I came to the States, it was the same thing. You're nothing. You're not. They don't care.
So
They
how
don't
was
care.
yeah?
They have their own James Harden. They have their own Russell Westbrook. They have their own Kevin Durant. You know, you're not there to be that guy. I think I would play Boston. I had an amazing game in Boston. The next morning, the drug test only for me. I was like, okay, this is how we're doing here, huh?
Hello, Donatas. Big thanks for joining my podcast. It's a great pleasure that you find the time, and no, I'm very happy to host you.
Yeah, thank you for the invitation. It's always a pleasure to talk about sports, and I'm happy to receive your invitation.
First of all, let's talk about things that are happening right now. I mean, I would like you to ask about your status because, from what I know, you still have a fire when it comes to motivation to play basketball at the pro level. But what are your status? Where we can expect to see you upcoming season?
So as of right now, I still have a contract with
Yes.
Monaco basketball, and like you said, since I was a kid, for me, basketball was more about passion than anything else. I love the sports. I'm playing the sports not because of money. Money came with the time, with the effort that I put in, with the work that I put in. Since the young days, I knew I have gifts, and I wanted to see how I can develop those gifts in something special. Fortunately, we as a basketball players, we have like I don't want to say power, but visibility. To change other young kids, other people's lives. So I think that it's very important to understand that with visibility, we're also entitled to help the community and people around us. So talking about the next year, I still have a contract with Monaco. I'm going to meet them next week. So we'll see what is the status. Obviously, the end of the season was not ending. It didn't end up the way I want to. First of all, since I have a contract, I need to see their vision, their situation, and if they see me in the team is one thing. If they don't see me, then we have to find the ways how to move me to the situation that works for me and the club the best.
You talk about this power that you have as a basketball player, that visibility. Before this interview, when I was doing research, I found out your post from the beginning of the last season, and you wrote on Instagram that your goal is not just only to bring titles to the club, but also to set example on and off the court for the people. So I would like to talk about this mentorship aspect. When was the moment you realized that, okay, as a player with amazing experience, you can be example to other people, other players, for example, younger teammates?
The exact moment I cannot really recall. The thing is, I feel like I gradually grow into it. I know that I have very strong personality as a human being, and I know that the biggest growth into the leader, into the person and human being I'm right now, it was when Sasha Obradovic came to the team. He actually really allowed me to do a lot of things within the locker room that helped me grow as a player, as a human being. And one of my friends, he's owner of the really big company, and occasionally we talk about the leadership and things like that, how to grow as a human being. He grew the company, he grew himself as a person. So for me, he's older than me. So for me, I kind of tried to find the people who went through this path and can help me in this path. Obviously the path we have to go ourselves. But without the guidance, without the leadership of other people, it would be very difficult. So one of the things that he told me, he said, listen, other lions help the young lions to grow and to improve. So when I was in the moment, when I was with Sasha and the team, I didn't really process it. But when the time went by, right now, everything kind of settled in, and I start realizing that what my friend was telling me is actually truth. That the people who are really strong, good people, and they have a strong vision and they have a strong personality, they always going to help the other people who see similarities, within themselves. So for me, I think that was the thing, and Sasha really gave me a lot, and it helped me to grow as a person, as a leader in the group of the team, in the eyes of the team. And he allowed me to do so many things, experiment, and through those experiments, I would say, I cannot say it was experiments, but he allowed me to control the raw locker room, to resolve the inside issues in the locker room and all of that. And, that's how we grow. That's how we grow. He saw potential. He saw something in me. He saw potential, and he allowed me to do these things. And, I took the challenge. I took the responsibility. And I feel like that was really the moment, like, I grew as a leader.
And do you see in younger teammates desire to learn from you?
I was also young once.
Yeah.
It has to be, the time has to show. We all have our own path. The thing is, you can try to, push on someone your opinion, your wishes, the goodwill. But without, if the person that you try to, influence, he has no wish or desire to learn, to grow, you can, try to influence him as much as possible. This is type of two-way street. It has to come from one side, and it has to be will to learn and to improve from the other side. Like we just talked about my example, and I told you about my friend. Like, for me, it was always like, okay, I want to be the best human being possible, and then I want to help the younger generation so they would be better than I was. And obviously not all of us have this feeling, the need of doing that, but for me, I think as a man, as a human being, I think this is ultimate goal in life, to help the others, to guide them, to teach them. And obviously after my career, that this is going to be where I'm going to concentrate towards, because I feel like that's where I can make the biggest impact.
And when you look at this young Donatas, who was key player in junior national team, who was, at the young level in the strong European clubs, could you say that you were a good listener to older players?
I was coachable. I was not necessarily a best listener. The thing is, no one in my family was a sports athlete. I'm talking about the parents, so I had to learn the things when I went through it. So I had to learn things on my own skin. I had some guidance from older players. Till now, I have incredible relationship with Massimo Bulleri, who was my captain in Benetton. He's right now a head coach in Sassari Dinamo. We text and talk to each other once in a while. It's always fun to remember him, but he's also genuinely a very good human being. And I have only the warmest, memories about how, they were trying to influence me and do this and do that, So I had guidance. I didn't have, the guidance was not too strong, but obviously, like I said, I understand, when you come from a family, when someone went through this path, is way easier, because then people know, obviously, my son right now, he's gonna play some sports. I don't know which sports, because he like football, he like basketball, we'll see. But, me as a professional, I already know the guidance I need to get him through. I know when he needs to strengthen his body. I know, when is the time to do what, because I went through it myself. Yeah. But all of those things I had to learn through my mistakes, and some of the injuries came with that. I had to learn again from my own experience. My father always used to tell me, you have to learn from other people's mistakes. But I mean, I think the people who can do that, they're blessed. We as a human beings, we always believe that this is gonna happen to someone else, not me.
So the guys like Domantas Sabonis had, or like Bronny James had the easier path?
I'm not saying easier path. there's some things that you cannot replicate. I would say hunger. You cannot replicate. Wanting to be the best, you cannot replicate. It is difficult when you grow up in the families like Sabonis or LeBron to expect that the kids would be, same superstars that their parents are. This is very difficult, and we kind of had this conversation with Tomas last summer. We were talking about it, and actually, he said the same thing what we're just talking right now. He was talking about the ex-superstar players' kids that right now are in the labs in the States working out. Like I think he was talking about Carmelo's son, some other player's son. Yeah. He's like they already have the parents already have set up the path for them because they went through it. They know, what type of players they have to be. Strength conditioning coaches, recovery, all these things, they're already there. For us, I mean. For recovery, I would go outside to play some more basketball, so there was no recovery. But I mean, like I said, like you learn with the time, you learn with the experience, you learn with the right people. I think that's why for me it was very beneficial when I hired my personal coach, who actually really helped me and turned my understanding away from only basketball to strength conditioning, for example. Strength and conditioning has to be very specific. And just to remember the times that I was young, the strength and conditioning was more to, okay, we have to gain the weight, you have to gain this, you have to do this. Whereas now is like, hey, I need to make you stronger in the positions, in the moves that you doing on a basketball floor, not to lift like empty weights without no purpose. Like to gain, your body is gonna gain as much muscle as is gonna accept. I cannot be Dwight Howard. I cannot be someone else. My body is different, so I have to make my body strong in the movements of basketball, so I'll be strong and not get injured. And so there is a lot of things that I learned from my personal coach, when it comes to, actually having a clear understanding, work the right direction. Because I used to, a lot of people call me like maniac of work, because for me, it was like no option of failure. When I was young, if you ask young guys right now, like young players, what is the scariest thing for them? For me, it was the scariest thing not to make it, to fail. I was ready to die on a basketball floor before I failed. And I mean, that was the attitude that was carrying through the whole my career. And like you start a conversation by saying like about passion, about this, like once that gone, I have to stop right away.
And what was like the biggest challenge you had to face when you moved from junior to senior basketball? What was like the biggest challenge for you?
I mean, so I can tell you, because obviously, like I said, I'm talking with a lot of junior coaches who's working, who's doing the work. So overall, the biggest problem is that what young guys are facing when they're moving from junior basketball to the men basketball. Men basketball is more physical. We know already how to position our bodies, how to move our bodies, how to do this, how to do that. And you're coming in, and if you're not specifically good basketball reader, if you're not good finisher, I mean, it's gonna take a long time for you to adjust to men basketball. Because if you're not scoring, you're not a good scorer as of young, like, Luka Doncic, who was like phenomenal scorer from the beginning. And your liability on defense, which everyone is going to attack the young guy.
Yeah.
I mean, that means you're not going to play. So this is what they explain me. And it actually makes a lot of sense that you have to be either able to produce and develop your defense to the level that coaches feel comfortable of playing you, or you have to be super developed in offense where no one can stop me. For me, it was like through offense, I was making everything. I was never known as a good defender, but offensively, I have a skill moves, I have post moves that no one else in Europe right now can stop me. I mean, at 34 years old, I'm still can create my own shot without even a problem. So these are the things that, for a young guy, I think is the most important to do, is like to find the way how to get on a basketball floor. And a lot of young guys make a lot of mistakes by going to the big teams and expecting they're gonna be played and used. European basketball, since the old days, they were not developed for overall, the basketball was never developed in EuroLeague, especially for young players to develop themselves. Okay, there right now there's Eurocup teams that are doing that big, putting those steps. There are weaker teams, let's say in the EuroLeague, that help the young players to put those steps. Occasionally, there are some super talents that shows up. But overall, in all, I think there is no clear system in European basketball that helps the young guy to develop. So that's why I feel like a lot of young guys right now are moving away to United States, to the college. One thing, the money came in.
Yes.
Before there was no money. Right now the money came in. But the second side, I feel like, to be honest, if you're not super talent or very good talent, that a Eurocup team who's looking to develop you going to take it, let's say, like, most likely those guys are the level of the first, second round picks in the NBA draft. If you're not one of those guys, the teams are not going to give you opportunity because they need to develop their own people. They need to make money. So if you're not one of those guys, where else you can go in Europe? Your path is over. So at a young age, a lot of those guys right now are turning to the United States. I feel like this is a good chance and good opportunity, especially because first of all, you get free education. And then you get develop yourself into someone. Then after 3-4 years, you come back to Europe, and then you have a chance to prove yourself. To develop yourself there. Over there, the people are like constantly there. The strength conditioning coaches are there. The development coaches are there. Their goal is also to develop you.
And tell me about because most people in Poland remember you from the time in Gdynia. Tell me about that season, because you were just after 2 seasons in Benetton, including this one when you won Rising Star of the Eurocup. What happened? Yeah, what was like the circumstances of that move that you landed in Gdynia, and how you remember your first weeks in Gdynia?
So for me, there was a big situation building up. I don't want to put the fingers and blame anyone. Especially right now when my previous agent passed away already. So I don't want to talk bad about anyone who did this or who did that. Overall, I'm just going to be very brief about it and clear. So the situation was like this, that Benetton, the father of Benetton family, decided to move away from the sports, and they decided to start closing the team. And they decided not to put any more money into the club. Because of that, the contract that I signed 3 years ago, they couldn't fulfill. So they said, listen, if you want, move. We're going to pay the difference. But if you stay, you have to, lower your money, salary, because we don't have money to pay you. So at that time, I was like, listen, if I lower my salary, for that money, I can go, somewhere in EuroLeague where I get EuroLeague experience before I go to NBA. Because obviously the goal was to go after the lockout year to the NBA. So yes. I was looking for the opportunity, and suddenly Coach Tomas called me, and he was like, "Listen, I have a team here. Obviously it's going to be your first year. It's not easy, this and that." But he was like, listen, I'm going to try to give you opportunity. I'm going to try to look for chances for you to play, especially because it's a lockout year. I don't know how long the Americans going to stay here. Are they going to try to leave right after the lockout is finished? No one knew how long lockout is going to last. Yeah. So there was a lot of questions, but, he presented the opportunity. And for me, that was the thing, like I said, I was like, okay, if I need to lower my salary, at least I will go to the place where, I can show myself. In EuroLeague, everyone knew at that time, EuroLeague is the stage where you want to, where you actually can show yourself. So I took that decision after talking with Coach Tomas. And, for me, I think it was an amazing decision. I had an amazing time in Asseco. Obviously, like only a month or month and a half into the season, Americans left. And for me, it was like the big opportunity. It was a little bit of a shakeup in the team because the guys were like a little bit shocked. We were talking that, hey, we're not going to win nothing or anything like that. But for me, it was a great opportunity. And I just told the story a couple of days ago to one of my friends, like, because they still keep on joking about Tomas and my relationship. But it was, I remember, like, as soon as I start playing and showing my talent, Coach Tomas started yelling at me like nonstop the whole game. And I was like, okay, one game passed, second game passed, third game passed, and I mean, I wouldn't be even on that side where action happens. He would still yell at me. And I was like, "What?" Like I got really pissed about it. And I'm that type of person. We all are different people, you know. I'm the type of person that you need explanation. So he saw that I was really getting mad. Like for me, the emotions were boiling. I was like, "What the hell is this?" You know, I'm playing my ass off here, and he's still yelling. He running defense, yelling, running offense, yelling. I was like, "What is going on?" So he saw that. I mean, he's an intellectual person. So he saw that, and he was like, he called me at the airport. He sat me down, and you know, I was 19 years old, 20 years old, you know, young human being, you know. And he told me, he said, "Listen," he's like, "I have all of these guys here." I said, "All of them, you know, I have for Polish guys the things that they can do. I can see that, but he was like, for you, you're young. You need to do everything for me. It's like I'm screaming at you because I'm pushing you because you have to do everything." He's like, "I don't care. Defense, offense, you have to be everywhere." And so after that, you know, it kind of clicked for me that, you know, this is the way how he's pushing me. And this is the way how I have to, you know, accept that yelling, you know, that it's his way of saying that, hey, you know, I need you to do everything. I need you to do better. And so I accepted that. And for me, it was like, I think that was like the really big understanding of how coach was trying to help me and make me better.
But it's great that you mentioned Coach Pacesas because I have a chance to speak with guys who play for him before you, like Daniel Ewing, Jan Jagla, and everyone told the same thing about him, that Pacesas was a great coach, but in one condition, if he was calm, because if he gets mad, it was sometimes, you know, out of control.
Well, I will tell you something. We all talk and react usually not correctly when we are in an emotional stage. You know, emotions are the things that once you get into those things, usually you're not a very good communicator. You cannot explain clearly what you want. I mean, I'm not saying to have emotions is bad. I have emotions. A lot of people, other people have emotions. But again, I think everything is in a control and understanding of your body stage. And you cannot blame, you know, for me, it took a lot of time to learn how to deal with emotions and how to react in certain things without emotions. Because like I said, like you can think about situations where, you know, you reacted with emotions. And then after a time, when you calm down, you regret that action. So, I mean, I think it's just, you know, coaches also human beings, you know, it's one of the most difficult jobs. Like I just mentioned, Massimo Boleri, we had dinner last year, not 2 years ago. We had dinner when he was in Limoges, assistant coach, and he told me, he said, "Listen," he said, "when you're a player," and this is very true, I agree 100%, you think only about yourself. Yeah. Your stats, your minutes, how you perform, you know, team wins or no when you play good. That's all you care. But when you're a coach, you're responsible for 10 to 15 guys as a players on a team. And then you have to also coordinate the practices times, what type of practices, recoveries, strength conditioning coach to be on the same page as a coach, you know, to make the don't waste the work, you know, what they do off the floor, on the floor, schedules. I mean, so many things like staff this, staff that. Someone didn't show up for a treatment. You have to be the one who's coordinate everything. So many responsibilities on one person's head. It's a huge load of responsibility what the head coach are carrying.
And what about the Polish league? Because you played, at the time you had the experience of playing in Lithuania, in Italy, but you know, Polish league never was considered as a top league when it comes to comparing to the other teams. And at that time there was a still time of great Gdynia. It was the last season, the last championship season, but everyone knows that the domination throughout the years. But how you remember the level of Polish league and the rivals, the style?
I mean, obviously, Coach Pacesas explained me all the time about the rivalries and everything. So I knew, he would tell me before games. He's like, listen, we have to beat these guys. Like, these guys talk a lot of bad things about us in the media. We have to kill them today. So he makes sure I know, like, which team is not favorite, and obviously, I didn't need no explanation against Sopot Trefl, when we were playing them. He said, like, hey, this is a big rivalry. We have to beat them. Doesn't matter how, we have to beat them. But to be honest, like, talking overall, Poland has so many other great sports. And the country lives off football, volleyball, handball. So, I mean, guys, you have so many sports, and like, I felt like, I'm not going to lie to you, I felt like playing basketball in Italy. It's a very similar situation. Italy have so many other sports that, basketball, like every time someone would meet me in the street, even Treviso, they would ask me if I'm a swimmer. Like, this is no joke. This is a real thing. Like, they ask me if I'm a swimmer. Like, that's how they care about basketball, So it's very hard to expect something. Obviously, nothing. You cannot build the league on nothing. You have to have sponsors. You have to have people interested in investing money, and everyone understands. Government has to strongly support that. But if the government supports 3 other sports in a big way, they cannot put the same money in the 4th sport. So there is the things that it's naturally had to fall into places. Talking about like Lithuanian basketball league, I'm not gonna lie to you, our league, because this is our trademark, this is our religion, this is how we got noticed after Soviet Union collapse, by winning the bronze in Barcelona. I mean, everything started from there. We put the trademark, we put our flag on that by beating Soviet Union at that time, Russia in a 3rd place game. So everything started by that, for us, and it's very strongly connected to the freedom. And that's why basketball is our second religion, So a lot of money goes there, a lot of sponsors goes there, and obviously the league is really on a high level, in my opinion, comparing to other leagues.
But it's interesting what you said, because for Polish basketball fans, they are jealous of like Lithuanian, because how the Lithuanian basketball is great. I mean, we saw the like images from the Žalgiris games, the thousands of the fans. We saw like Ritas is doing Beastie Wolves, Lietkabelis, and at the same time we don't. For example, in Poland right now we don't have any team in EuroLeague. Don't have a chance any. We have only one team in Eurocup, and since in many years like they winning 1 or 2 games per seasons.
When Mr. Klause, I think that's the Asseco owner's name, when he was putting big money into the team, I mean, they were in the EuroLeague, and this is the answer right there. Basketball in Europe is not business; it's luxury. So it's very hard to say, like, if there's an owner who really loves sports, then he puts big money in. I'm sure, like, in a couple of years, there will be a team in EuroLeague in Poland. And I mean, like you just said, like in Lithuania, people are crazy. We're crazy. I grew up in Kaunas, so for me, like all my life, I'm gonna be green. So I grew up in the streets. I know the spirit, and I'm carrying that spirit with me. So this is the thing that I'm proud of. To be from this city, to be from this place. I'm also a huge supporter because I grew up in Žalgiris youth system, so I'm a huge supporter of Žalgiris. And for me, it's a pride thing. I am proud of being Lithuania. I'm proud to being born here in Kaunas.
And how you remember the Polish guys, because some of them make a quite a good career. I mean, Zamoyski was like 2-time Olympian in free basketball.
I follow
Adam Chrycaniuk, he's still playing. Przemysław
playing.
Yes, Przemysław Rasunkiewicz, he's a coach in Bundesliga.
Yes, I know. I met him from Rasunkiewicz. I meet him from time to time. I meet Shotka from time to time. Ponitka was with me, I think, the last season. End of the season, he came to the team. So, I mean, with some of these guys, I really keep the close connection. With some of them, I see from time to time. But always follow, always support. A lot of people think that, hey, it was just a stage and in your career, it doesn't matter. I feel like every place grew me in some sort of way. Every place has a piece of my heart, and I'm really happy and proud that I had a chance to play in Poland at that young age and got a role in the EuroLeague team. I think it was dream come true.
Many fans appreciate your effort, because even after years you helped the team, like sending the shirts for the auctions. You even one time came to the basketball camp.
Yeah.
So you are still well remembered despite the fact that you only played one season.
Well, like I said, this is what type of human being I am, and I'm trying to always be involved, and I have no problems to help. To show myself, to show up to the training camps, to the camps for kids. I feel like I told you, with the visibility, it grows the responsibility. So my responsibility is to give the young fans something to remember. Hopefully, unfortunately, not all of them can be basketball players. If every person who practiced basketball could be basketball players, I wouldn't make money I'm making. This is the reality, but, my hope is that all of them going to grow up a good human beings. I think is more important and bigger value than anything else. No money is going to buy a good person's soul.
And looking from today's perspective, do you think you were ready for NBA when it comes to the physicality and the basketball wise?
I mean, no one's ready there. When you go at 18, 19, only maybe number one. I mean, even those guys are not ready. Number one, I mean, I think the only guy that was ready was LeBron James. Because he was at age 18 or 19, he was a grown-ass man. Americans are different. Their bodies, everything, they're developed way faster than us Europeans. And for sure, I was not ready. But the thing is, this is the thing, that when good teams signing a players, they're signing them as a project. A lot of them are the projects, and from you it depends. How hard you're gonna work, how dedicated you're gonna be. For me, that was the thing. Like what I just told you before about the developing and that in Europe not a lot of individual skill coaches are there. There are not a lot of assistants are there. They're not coming in every day to pass you the ball to shoot. So for a young player to be stuck in that type of environment is not, I don't know if I would develop to a player who I am right now. In the States, I was every day 2-3 hours before the team practice doing my stuff, shooting, doing my drills and doing individual work with the development coaches. So there was always people there who were ready to help. You just need to show the wish and desire. And, you're not going to take away that from me. I have a lot of that. So for me, it was it was the best place to develop myself.
I remember when I spoke, I think 1 or 2 years ago with Bosjan Nachbar, we were talking about his career, that he said that, okay, in Europe, before I came to NBA, I was quite well known as a prospect because I have some awards, some good games, seasons. But when I came to NBA, for Americans, this doesn't mean a thing. And yeah. I was wondering, you were already, quite good. You have a good accolades before you came to NBA, but at the same time as you joined the Rockets, James Harden came. So when the star and Jeremy Lin. So there was so many new faces in the Rockets, and alongside these faces is Donatas Motiejunas, who I don't want to offend you, but I don't think many Americans know much information.
Yeah, of course, but this is normal. I mean, when you're young, you have to go and fight, bite nails, teeth, whatever you can to get an opportunity, to get a chance. I was waiting almost over 2 years to get my opportunity. Only in the third year, I got my chance to play. But during that time, you have a choice. Either you spend your time in a gym and do whatever it takes to make that dream come true and get the opportunity whenever the opportunity comes, to be ready and take it, or you waste those 2-3 years, and then when the opportunity never comes. So that's normal. Like I said, this is young player's path. And Boki said correct thing. When I came to the States, it was the same thing. You're nothing. You're nothing. They don't care.
So
They
how
don't
was
care.
yeah?
They have they have their own James Harden. They have their own Russell Westbrook. They have their own Kevin Durant. You know, you're not there to be that guy. So you have to figure out who you're gonna be. And this is a crazy part. Like if you do one thing better than everyone else, you're gonna have a long and great career in NBA. You just need to figure out that one thing that you do better than everyone else.
So how was like to fight for the minutes with guys like Parsons or next season Dwight Howard? I mean, in Poland we know a lot of stories about Dwight Howard because he played with Marcin Gortat, and
Yeah.
Gortat told an interesting story that Howard was dirty player in the training session because, for example, he had a habit that he didn't cut his nails, so they were sharp, and he was scratching the opponents. Or Gortat said that many times he was scratching his face, his arm, his neck. So sometimes they were fighting. And what was like your memories with fighting for the minutes with these big guys in the
I
team?
mean, for me, I really didn't have bad memories. For me, this is sports. Even today, I'm playing for Monaco for 4 years right now. I'll spend in Monaco every year. There's a different players, new guys coming in and out. Fighting for a minute, that's something that's part of our lives. For me, it doesn't determine like who I am off the floor, but on the floor, that's what we have to do. This is, like we playing games, and I can tell you, first couple of years, there was a times when Donta hit me in the face, and I hit him in the face. Was it intentional? Hell no, but it happens. He knows me as a person. I know him as a person. I know that he never does nothing like this intentionally, and I never did nothing like that intentionally. But when it comes to hitting each other with the shoulder, stopping, or make a strong foul, I always accept that as a basketball play. This is part of basketball. We have to fight for a minutes and for the situation. On the other hand, I'm also the one of the players boards MVP, not MVP. I'm sorry,
Elpa.
ELPA players boards member. So I'm trying to help a lot of guys off the floor. And I told, especially for a big guys that were fighting for a position, I said, guys, there's one thing to fight over there, and the other thing is our lives. I said, I can be the worst enemy for you on the floor, but that doesn't mean that I'm your enemy off the floor.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is just you have to learn how to separate those. Like I know there are a lot of guys who are like big assholes on a basketball floor, but they're the nicest people on the floor. Like when they leave the basketball floor. So you have to be like this. You're fighting for a family, for your food, for the opportunity to play, to win. If you don't do that, I mean, no one's gonna sign you. No one's gonna take you.
And what was the secret of your great form in this first season in Racket, the last one before the injury? Because you have good numbers, you have a good season, and like injury like stop almost.
So the injury happened because I overworked myself. I feel like I said, I don't put any blame to anyone, but again, like I just mentioned to you, like I was trying with the intentions of getting big, strong, and all of this. But at the same time, like, this was not my body. Right now, my body is strong as ever, but I have just this type of body that I have, and I have to develop this body to listen to my moves, to listen to my speed, to my strength. I have to develop that, And the secret, I can tell you, a lot of guys got injured, and I got a chance. Dwight got injured, Terrence Jones got injured. I was the only big guy in the team. And they gave me I got opportunity. I started playing 30 minutes a game, and rest is the history. I know how to score. I know how to play. I know how to win. And so I just told you, I spent 2.5 years working really hard for the opportunity. And once it came, I was sure to take it. Unfortunately, the injury happened, but in the same time, once I started playing unbelievable, I was getting drug tested every couple of weeks. As crazy as it sounds, really, like, I think I would play Boston. I had an amazing game in Boston. The next morning, the drug test, only for me. I was like, okay, this is how we're doing here, huh? They're like random drug tests. I said, yeah, that's very random. Like,
And it was easy, or how easy, or I suppose how hard for you was to come back after this injury, not only in physical aspect, but also in the mental, because, okay, as we said, the injury stopped you from playing in Eurobasket when Lithuania scored like the second medal. And, you were rising with the numbers, with the form, and everything stopped for a while.
Well, yeah, that's part of a basketball, like I'll be very honest with you. A lot of people are telling me what would happen then, what would happen then, if this would happen, if that would happen. I believe in life, we all have a path, and this was my path. I had to go through that type of injury. After that type of injury, I was almost 1.5 years out, 2 surgeries, rehabs, and everything. And I always say, like, hey, if not this, I would never meet my personal coach, that pushed me every day to be better. If not this, I wouldn't be the person that I am today. If I signed some big contract, then maybe I would be cocky, disrespectful person. With all of this, I feel like this was my path, this was the destiny, and I accept it. I don't feel bad about anything, what I did in life. All the mistakes that I did, I'm trying to learn from it. And this is the most important thing, that, for people, for young guys, everyone's tried to be perfect. No, like, more mistakes you make as young player, young person, and learn from it. This is the most important. If you keep on repeating, that's just stupidity. But if you keep on learning, keep on improving, keep on getting better, I mean, sky's the limit for anyone.
And how long took you to have like the similar feeling on the court as you have before?
It took some time, because as a young human being, like I said, I don't want to mention anything because the rehab was done bad. There was so many things that my unexperienced mind couldn't handle it. I feel like I had terrible guidance from my agent at that time. So there was so many things, done not the way it's supposed to be done. But again, I have zero regrets. I feel like that's why I grow smarter. That's why I improve a lot. For me, yes, it took a lot of time, a long time to be back. But at the same time, I got opportunity to go to China for really good money. I chose that to see, because a couple of doctors told me I'm never going to be playing basketball again. So, I was really stressed out. I was worried if I would be able to play or not. And then, I met my personal coach. And, he told me, he said, listen, I know how to do it. If you follow, if you be disciplined, if you listen, you're going to play for long, long years. I mean, I'm working with him right now, 8th season. This is going to be 9th season right now, next year. And I mean, I'm playing. I'm feeling better than before. He has zero problems with the back or anything else. Obviously, I'm working like hell every day. It's like army for me. But that is the reason why I'm playing. So it helped me to improve more from discipline side, and helped me to improve my body, my mind. Like I said, none of these things might be possible if my path and the decisions that I take would be different. So I'm really happy that the things that I did put me in the position that I am right now and grow me to the person that I am right now.
And tell me the story, because you are the best source I can ask about this contract things with rackets and nets, because I tried, to understand, but there are so many misunderstandings. So I was. Okay.
Listen, to explain, there's nothing to explain. There was a lot of misunderstanding. There was a lot of, like I said, misguidance from the agent side. On the end, Brooklyn signed me under a contract that Rockets matched, and they told me they're not gonna match it, but they did. And when I came to Houston, they failed me on a physical, which Brooklyn passed me on a physical, and that has never been done in NBA history. So I was just sitting without possibility to go anywhere, to be cleared by anyone, and I end up not being able to sign neither for Rockets, neither for Brooklyn. So, I had to choose some team. I look for Minnesota. I look for other places. I ended up, spending the remaining year in New Orleans. And, obviously, I didn't find the correct place afterwards where I can, show my skills to develop myself. And this is it. Like, NBA is a business. Like, if you like, if someone likes you in one, second, third team, that's okay. You're going to be good. But if you shoot a couple of shots and you miss, and there's no other teams that are willing to put a chance, give you that chance, you might be done, and that more or less happened to me.
But do you felt that sometimes, the American players at your position are treated better because they are Americans and you are not?
Obviously, I felt that way in many situations, but I never take it personal. I took in consideration that they're coming from NCAA. They've, the GMs, the coaches, everyone, they see them, they follow them. NCAA everywhere is on a TV. You can watch them 24/7. And I'm coming from Europe that, on the best occasion, they go to watch 1, 2, or 3 games per season of what I'm capable of doing. Yeah. So the visibility are there, and naturally comes more likeliness for those guys. That's why, like, a lot of guys, like, I even had a conversation with Domantas Sabonis. He told me that was one of the reasons that he went to the Gonzaga before he went to NBA. He didn't try to go straight from the Europe because, once you have the visibility, obviously with that comes the favorability from the coaches and from the front office in NBA.
And do you still have good contacts with your teammates from NBA?
I talk from time to time with a couple of them. Not necessarily, this is business. We do the business, and especially NBA, everyone cares about themselves more than anything else. So it's just how it is. But I talk with some guys from time to time. I'm talking with the management people. I see Chris Finch is doing amazing with Minnesota as a head coach. For me, this is the best example. He was starting, and he was our assistant in Houston Rockets. And, when I left, I think I told him that I hope he will get a chance to be a head coach, because he's going to be a hell of a head coach. Because first of all, he cares about you as a human being. I think this is number one thing when you're a coach. You have to truly care, not just say, hey, how are you to everyone every day, but I know that he truly cares. And as we see, he's in the NBA for a long time right now. He had a pretty good run with Minnesota, and I hope he's going to win that championship soon, because he definitely one of those guys that I would say he really deserves it.
I think also Gregg Popovich is like some kind of like a caring coach, because I have a chance to interview Jakob Pertl, and he told me that sometimes during trainings he took him, on the side, and instead of, talking about something like, that you made this wrong, he started, giving him lessons that he said, I will remember these lessons for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I would say overall, like, I had a chance for 3 months to work with Gregg Popovich. I think that he's one of the best human beings that I ever met in my life.
Like overall,
one of the best human beings. Like I'm talking about, like, that whole organization is different. There is a reason why assistant GMs, coaches go from that organization to other organization to be leaders, to lead the organizations, to lead the coaching staffs. There is a reason. I saw the reason, and for me, it's very clear. There is no magic. I mean, over there, the people go beyond what they're supposed to do for each other. There's a true family over there. The people really care about each other. And I can tell you, like, I was there for 3 months. I had multiple conversations with Coach Gregg about family, about what my family is doing. And like I said, like, he's fully engaged to you. When you're talking to him, it's not like, whatever. I'm Gregg Popovich. Who the hell are you? There's nothing like this. No. And this is where, like, when you get that feeling that person really cares for you that much, that yelling doesn't matter. Like, you understand why he yells. You understand why he pushes you. and you understand why he's trying to win, But in the same time, when the basketball is down and we go to eat, he's over there asking about like how is your family, how is this, how is that. He remembers everything. He knows everyone. Like for me, it was phenomenal. Like to have a conversations besides basketball, and you can see that he genuinely cares about it. And generally, he was a true father figure over there. I would say he was a father figure in that organization, and he still is.
Do you remember like the best lesson you received from him?
There was many lessons of the leadership. Some of them were spoken, some of them were not. For me, I will keep all of them to myself because, it's part of a learning experience for me. Hopefully, I'm going to apply all those things. I even have multiple of his books. Some of them are like special about leadership. I feel like, he found the perfect middle, because some coaches, they win the title. I don't think Gregg Popovich cares about titles. I don't think he cares how many titles he wins, how many games, if he's a legend or not. He's just a genuine, good human being who cares about other people. And this is why he's successful.
And how you remember your time in China? Because, okay, if you look at stats, amazing stats, but it's big difference when it comes to playing in EuroLeague, NBA, and China. At the same time as you, I think Maciej Lampe also played in China.
Yeah, we met multiple times.
Yeah, also had good stories, good memories. He said, it was good money, chance to score some points. But from your perspective, how you remember your time in China?
It was basketball-wise. It was tough. Playing 35, 38 minutes a game. You have to carry the team. The reps don't favor you. They're calling against you. They're allowing dirty contact against you. It was very difficult. Like your body's beat up after every single game. And you have to go for 6 months. You have to play every single day with the traveling. Sometimes 14, 15 games a month. So this is literally every second day. I mean, for me, I love basketball. I enjoyed it, but it really I left a lot of heart over there. And for me, it was like a lot of people say, okay, easy scoring, this, that. I wouldn't say it was this easy. I mean, we were always in the top 4 as a team, and it was very, very, very challenging and difficult. Really, for me, like people who say that, is China, like, okay, now China is different right now. They signed different players. But when I was there, it was top EuroLeague, top NBA, or going towards the end NBA players. So these guys with the multiple experience, with the good scoring skills, some of them incredible scorers, incredible, like, top scorers everywhere.
Yeah.
And so to play against them, to match the physicality that referees are allowing, it was very, very not easy. It took a lot out of my body.
I heard a funny story from Žiga Dimec. He was a Slovenian center, national team center. He played in Japan, and he said that when he went to Japan and he told like the old friends how hard it was to play in Japan, he said, "Oh, my friends were joking. Hey, this guy is like 170. They are small guys, 170, 80 centimeters. What are you talking about?" He said, "No, because at every club signed big guy at my position. So I didn't play against Japanese like big guys, but against other top guys who came here for big money."
Similar was in China, and like I said, it was really not easy. A lot of people think it's easy. It was really not easy.
So like EuroLeague moved to Monaco was in some way we can say relief, because
no, it was not relief. I had a clause in my contract that I can leave. To be honest, I was really considering leaving at some point. When I had a clause, but I was, I started, especially when I first came to Monaco. Monaco, we had eight players in the preseason. In the beginning of the preseason, we had 8 players. So I was like, what the hell is this? Like, if who's going to play? who's going to play basketball on this team. But I mean, then our new president came in. Players started getting signed. Alpha Diallo got signed. Then Will Tomas. Then Mike James. And we ended up being in the playoffs in the first year in the EuroLeague, which was amazing. We went to Game 5 against Olympiacos. I think we had an amazing year. And so, I didn't really want to quit on a job that I already started. So I was happy with that. For me, the club and the organization means the world. And, I was there from the beginning. And like I said, I will wish them, to win the championship one day.
It's easier to play with James Harden or Mike James?
It's about the same. They're ball-dominated players. Obviously James Harden, he's one of the best isolation players in the world. Phenomenal moves. At his prime, he was shooting, 18, 20 free throws a game, because no one could figure out how he's playing basketball. You can see how Minnesota and Ricky Rubio was playing defense against him, trying to force him to penetrate because his shot was so lethal, So for me, he was one of the most pure scorers that I've ever been around or with. And I have a huge respect for him. I think as a player, he's an amazing player. And, it was a pleasure really to share the floor with him for 4 years.
And what about Mike James? What makes him so great in EuroLeague?
I mean, Mike, he really reads the situation well. He also can create his shots very easily. He makes some tough shots. Some of the shots that he makes, sometimes I ask him, I was like, how do you make it? He's like, I don't know. I didn't see the basket. He's like, I didn't saw the basket. I just shoot it. It felt good. I just shot it. So, pure scorer, pure talent. Like I said, every player has their own skills, their own abilities. So, like I said, it was a pleasure for me to play for 4 years with Mike James too.
And what made Monaco so good in recent years, despite coaching changes? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, Monaco is still playing with the license they received for winning Eurocup.
Yes.
And they have prolonged it because of the playoffs. Yes, so that is something interesting. But I following this club for sometimes I have a chance to speak with Aaron Cell, who was who played for Monaco in the first season, and he said it doesn't surprise him how this club is developing. But you played even in the last season, so I was wondering what makes Monaco so great, so competitive.
I mean, obviously the management makes the right decision by signing players. A lot of guys that were signed. I mean, a lot of people say hey, we love watching Monaco play. The Monaco plays very fast, free basketball, but it comes also with the players that are pure scorers. If you look at on the floor, I'm a scorer. Mike James is a scorer. Jordan Lloyd is a scorer. Eli Kobe is a scorer. Matthew Surgel is a scorer. There's so many guys, so many strengths, so many abilities to score that you look at the other EuroLeague teams who are playing against, some other team and they have 1-2 guys who can really score and others just the helpers. So you stop 2 guys and you're good. But when you have 5 guys on the floor who everyone can score, how difficult is to play defense against that type of people? So I think that the management did a great job to put this group together, and I feel the results speaks for themselves in the last couple of years.
I remember because you said about having so many scorers in this team. I remember when Kemba Walker came to this team, I expected him. Okay, he coming to Monaco, so he will be scoring as NBA, but he didn't transform this the skills from NBA to EuroLeague.
I don't think that's correct wording. He didn't transform. I feel like he never got a chance. I think the biggest problem was that in the beginning of the season he couldn't participate in the preseason because he had a knee cleaning, and so he came in already when we start playing games. And this is where the Europe is different from NBA, some coaches, they don't care who you are. If you're not ready in the preseason, if you don't show, if they don't figure out how they use you, you lose the
spot.
Not a spot, but like the coaches don't feel comfortable with you. You know, they don't touch you, they don't feel you, they don't see where you can benefit. And there was some games that Kemba really helped us and showed us sparks of the old Kemba, the way he moved, the way he played. But then again, you know, he was playing only for EuroLeague. So in the French league, you know, he was not playing. So sometimes like he plays one game a week, you know, and to catch the rhythm and all of that. And like I said, again, for a coach, you know, coach needs to feel comfortable in Europe too. He has to know you. He has to see how you feel, how he can push you and this and that. When he gets to know that, it's easy. But I feel like these was the main problems why Kemba didn't got a bigger role than he deserved. You know, like I feel like he deserved way more respect. But in the same time, like I said, I can defend the coach because, you know, from the preseason, he couldn't touch him. And then in the season, it's very hard to figure out how to put this guy in a position to succeed. But overall, I feel like Kemba was one of the best also people that I met in my life. And, you know, he really genuinely great human being. So I'm really lucky in my life that I had a chance to cross paths with such a great people.
And are you satisfied from what you achieve with national team, or do you have maybe feeling that you're lacking of something? For example, you didn't receive a chance to play at the Olympics. You were close in 2012, but you didn't make.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. Every single athlete, doesn't matter, you know, solo athlete, team athlete. The goal is to be in the Olympics, you know, to compete with best of the best. And of course, this is going to be one of the biggest regrets in my life. Hopefully, you know, we'll see where my career going to turn after I put the basketball down and I finish my basketball career. You know, maybe I will get a chance through the different position to achieve my goal. But you always want to compete you know, in the Olympics. So this is one of the biggest regrets that I have. The other regret, you know, 10 years, this year is 10 years without the medals as a national team. So I'm going to be honest with you, for our country, this is a huge disappointment. And it shows like there is problems, there is wounds inside of our system, our development. Something is not right. So I'm happy that in recent year there was a lot of changes within the. I feel like more strict coach came in, maybe with the old school different philosophy, but maybe we need that type of philosophy right now, you know, because we're struggling with the new age philosophies, coaches that have new age philosophies, you know, so maybe that's gonna help. But overall, like you know, I just hope that we take example of like Germany and countries like this that. You know, with all the respect to them, when I was playing them in the junior championships, we were beating them by 30, 40 points. And now they're one of the strongest teams in Europe. So they did something wrong, something right in the development of the system, the development of the national team. So, you know, it's kind of unfortunate. I feel pretty bad that, you know, I had to witness this 10 years draw without no medals. But, you know, we have some diamonds coming up from the younger generations. Hopefully they're going to be able to put us back into the position where we're supposed to be as a country, you know, because with that much love and support that we have in our cities, in our, you know, local teams, then in our national team, there's no way we should be 10 years without not winning anything.
Yeah, it's great that you mentioned that fact because, for example, I remember 2021 Olympic qualification tournament in Kaunas. Like everybody was expecting, okay, Lithuania is hosting this tournament; they will win the spot.
No, it was European. It was European Championship, not.
Yeah, I mean in Kaunas, 2021.
Yes, it was 21.
Yes, because Olympics was
Oh yeah. You're right. We lost against. I thought you said 2012. 2012.
No, I mean 2021 Olympic qualifiers. Everybody was expecting, okay, Lithuania will win this spot, and Luka Doncic came and won. But it's an interesting thing. I want you to think about this and answer, because when I spoke with Polish guys, Polish national team in the last Eurobasket finished at the 4th place, which was like amazing results for our country. And many guys from that team said that one of the advantage that they have is at that moment they didn't have the key player who plays in NBA, because this guys from NBA is coming only for summer for a few weeks, and this team like build chemistry throughout this window, windows during the qualifiers during the season. And do you think, for example, for these big countries, maybe don't mention France or Spain, but in some countries, the fact that these teams belong so much on like NBA players could be like problem? That
I don't see a problem in that. I would tell you, like, Jonas Valančiūnas is the probably biggest example of the young generation how you should be patriotized. I mean, I wouldn't say patriotized. What type of patriot you're supposed to be? How you're supposed to fight for your country. He didn't miss one national team since many years, and so every year he wants to go. He wants to show himself. And I wouldn't say like this is very bold and very bad saying that, hey, the guys who plays in NBA, they're the reason why we're not winning. This is I don't want to insult anyone, but this is very bad comparison. In other hand, I will tell you my opinion, what I think. I think the problem is, and I already spoke with people in my national federation. The problem is that like before, to come to national team was a privilege. It means you're the top 12 best people if you're picked for a national team. And everyone would die and would kill themselves in the practice to be in that top 12. The practices would so intense they would come to the fights. I know personally, not one player start fighting because you want to be in the national team. And I feel like those things, like I said, I gave many interviews before. I feel like this connection between our freedom and the generation that came right now, I think that feeling got lost somewhere in between. And, players right now, they're like deciding, okay, this year I want to rest. This year I don't want to go. Oh, it's Olympic qualification. Oh, let's go. We're all strongest. The connection between players are not there anymore. They're just not there. So, I mean, I think I talked a couple of years back with one of my, he's not friend, but like I know him for many years. He works within the German national team. And we had a conversation, and he told me that one of the things that the German national team did, it was the disciplinary contracts. The base of the contract was you sign it, and you sign it for a Olympic circle, or 4 years of Olympics. So if you don't show up 1 year, you have no chance. If you refuse first year not to come in the Olympic circle, you don't have no chance to come to the Olympic qualifications. So if you have no legitimate reason, injury, or like the federation allows you not to show up, you have no chance to play for a national team for 4 years. So this builds the responsibility on the players to understand that, hey, if you don't want, don't come. But don't be like, hey, I want to participate in a world championship or in Olympics. No, if you want to participate, be the member of the team from first day to the last. And if you don't want after that, don't compete, which I completely agree. Then in those 3-4 years, you have more or less same group of guys. They know each other. There's a team chemistry. There is an off-court team chemistry. There are so many things happening in that area. I think this is very big misunderstanding and key that really escalates. Because in my opinion, national team is like what, 1-2 months. 2 months, more or less.
Yes, we can say. Yeah, in
So
summer.
I will tell you, to do something phenomenal, strategic, or change the way players play is almost impossible. And I feel like national team goes off emotion. If within the basketball team, if within the national team, there's a great atmosphere, great each other understanding, feeling, good group of guys, you have already chance to achieve something.
So do you now today see a difference in Lithuania's team that young guys really want to come to, the camp?
I think it is there. I think right now the time is coming when the people like me and there's the other guys that have the passion and love for the national team. I think we have to try to go and educate and help the young guys to understand the importance of the national team. Not only that they want to come, of course they want to come. Everyone wants to come to the national team. But then, like, the question is why you're there. Are you there to win? Are you there to be with your teammate next to each other, shoulder to shoulder, and die on the floor and try to win something? Or are you there to have a good time? Because if you want to have a good time, the summer, go have fun.
And do you see in which player of this young player of Lithuanian national team you see the biggest potential to be a leader in the future?
There is a lot of guys. I was very impressed with Jokubaitis. I told him face to face this year too. I feel like Jokubaitis turned the corner because he was lost for a small period of time, and I think that I tried to talk to him multiple times, and I feel like he kind of started to understand, which I hear from people around him that he changed a lot, and for me this is the biggest reward. You talk with a person, talk, and when you reach him, when he understands it, he change it, he see that it works, and he decides to change his life towards it. So that's the biggest reward that you can ask for. You just help someone to be better, to grow, to get better. So I feel like there's so many young guys that we have right now. I know Kasparas Jokučionis, who was selected number 20 by Miami Heat. I know that he's fanatic, but again, he's a young guy who's gonna come into the situation where he's gonna need the leadership and need the people around him to show him the right path. I know that he's a freak of worker, very similar to me. He goes to sleep at 8, he wakes up at 4 or 5 a.m., goes to shoot before school, works out, and is like a robot every day. But us as a human beings, we're very easily influenced by other people around us. And so this is very important, like who you're going to have as a mentor, which I have no doubts in Miami Heat. The organization is correct. The people are in the team, they're correct. They're keeping the right players, the right attitude players. So he's going to be doing very well. The next thing, the federation has to make sure that there's the right people within the national team right now when they bring him in. So for the next 3, 4, 5 years, that he grow into the player that would be unstoppable, and we all can be proud of.
And do you know something about this current Polish national team guys like Sochan, Politka, Balcerowski?
I know Jordan Lloyd is there.
Yes, I mean he's expected, yes, to join team.
I know he's there. Like I said. It's no secret. My son, he's half Polish, half Lithuanian. So sometimes we joke around. Like I'm joking with him and upsetting him that last couple of times he was here in Lithuania, I think Lithuania was playing Poland in the qualification games, in the European qualification. Yeah. So we're watching. He's supporting. Obviously, he lives with his mother, so he's supporting Poland.
Good.
But I was telling him that's the wrong sport that he's supporting Poland because we beat them by 20. But then a couple of days later he called me and there was Lithuanian Poland football game. It ended up like 3-1, I think, or 4-1, something like this. So when I called him, he was the first one run to the camera, and he was like, "Polish won, Poland won." I told him, I said, son, it's the wrong sport, but okay, I take it.
Do you remember some Polish words from Polish language?
So we use many. From time to time, I talk with my sons some words, but nothing crazy. I know that in Monaco team, because I was not in Monaco. I'm sorry, in Asseco Procom team, I was skinny and like moving a lot, jumping a lot. Like they used to call me Pasikonik. So that was my nickname in Poland. So yeah.
Okay, coming to the end, because you said many times that your time as a professional basketball player comes to the end. Do you already have plan what you will do after last game?
I mean, person without a plan, he's either naive or stupid. So you have to have a plan, and besides the ELPA, I'm also the Lithuanian LPKA, Lithuanian Professional Basketball Player Organization president. So one of the things that I'm trying to help, because I know problems that players have after they finish their careers, and there's no secret that most of the players, they don't make that much money to their career to live comfortably afterwards.
Yeah.
And the biggest mistake that they do around 30, 31 years old, they think they're going to play forever. I mean, we all want to play forever, but reality is different. So we're trying to push the studies on to try to push them to get educated before they finish their careers. Obviously, to get a diploma is one thing. Experience and all the other things is more important in my opinion, but it's very important to get a diploma too in this age, because no one's going to hire you without a diploma anywhere. So especially the guys that are wanting to do the coaching, strength conditioning, physios, massage therapist, or if they want to go to, for example, to management, basketball club management and all those studies. We have connections in different universities. One is LSU, Lithuanian Sports University, is one of the top universities in Europe for sports, specifically for sports preparation. And then we have VDU, which is very famous for management courses. So we're trying to push on the players to do this earlier, rather than when they finish their careers, waste another 4 years not knowing what to do, to have some sort of floor background where they can push off. For me personally, I have different things. I have real estate objects. I have, also a lot of other ideas. A lot of people around me are pushing me towards mentorship and coaching because they see that I have a passion towards it. And I really, truly care about young players. So I have a lot of people pushing me towards that. So we'll see. I feel like I'm playing basketball since 7 years old, and it's going to be very difficult for me to leave. But I'm also super extremely excited about the next chapter of my career, of my life. Because it's gonna. I'm going into unknown, but I think I'm prepared. I'm ready. And it's going to be interesting for me to see where the life is going to take me.
So seeing Donatas in suit in the next 5-10 years on the sideline, it's not a mission impossible.
Yes, everything is possible. It's part of a life. We'll see what's going to happen. I mean, I know one thing. If you dream, if you put enough work, if you believe, if you put enough dedication, everything is possible. I made it to the basketball player, so I think I know the formula how to get where I want. I didn't make it to just sitting on a couch. I know what type of dedication is needed, and I know what type of work hours is needed. So I mean, it's going to be just different type of work. Right now is physical exhaustion. I keep on saying, like, there is one young athlete. He's doing the judo, and I see him every year in a sport house. There's a training facility here that I see him every year, and every year I talk to him. And this year I told him, I said, listen, if you want to be an athlete, you better start loving pain. So there's going to be no day in your life that you don't feel pain somewhere. And this is the reality. I mean, like, I truly love pain. I mean, you just have to go through it.
And a part of staying healthy, what I can wish to you?
Wish to me, I have coach, I have right attitude, I have discipline, so you don't need to wish me anything. I will take care of it myself.
Okay, Donatas, so big thanks for having time. Sorry for taking so much of your time, but it was amazing to hear your stories, points of views. Yeah, I was very glad that I was trying, forcing, to managing, trying to connect you to make this interview happen, but I'm really, happy that...
on the end, the most important thing is we made it happen, so hope people will enjoy it.
Yeah, so once again, big thanks and all the best to you, to family, and enjoy your time as a player.
Yeah, thank you, for sure we'll do that. Thank you so much.